So about a month ago, we had a mini project at work, which required us to travel in teams of 2 to each province of South Africa. I also know you're wondering, what does this have to do with cars? Well, within these 2 teams, a driver has to be designated, and guess what? I was chosen to be the driver of the 2 trips that I was assigned to. Doesn't seem like a big deal, huh? Wrong. At first, I wasn't comfortable with driving, as I had only acquired my license about 6 months ago, and I have never touched a car ever since, but I was ready. For the first trip, I was given a Suzuki Swift, and the second trip was given a Hyundai Grand i10. I am going to be reviewing the different experiences with each car and hopefully provide you with proper information. If you are looking to get yourself a nice small car as a starter, then these 2 vehicles are the way to go. Starting with the Suzuki Swift. The Suzuki we got from a rental company I won't mention because they're not paying me. I've always wanted to say that. It was the 2019 model. Let's provide a mini history on this car. According to cars.co.za, the car is characterized by a youthful styling and all new platform. The car was also the top seller for Suzuki Auto in South Africa. I am personally not even surprised by this car alone, with so many other dominating the streets of South Africa. The 1.2 derivative famously won the budget car category. Compared with its predecessor, it is 10mm shorter but 40mm wider and repositioned to appeal to top-end budget car rather than traditional compact hatchback car buyers. However, the introduction of the higher spec 1.2 GLX and the 1.4-liter turbo sport versions, both available in manual or automatic gears, sees the Swift move upmarket if you want a little bit more power, which will come in later on why I even mentioned the power aspect. The wheelbase has been extended to 2,450mm, making the Swift almost as long as the Ciaz sedan, and the tracks are wider at each end by 40mm front and 35mm rear end. The increase in dimensions have led to improved interior space. Suzuki claims front passengers benefit from more shoulder room and rear occupants are afforded a bit more headroom. Plus, everyone sits a bit lower down, which gives the car a more sportier feel. One of the criticisms of past Swifts was stingy luggage capacity. This has been increased to 268 liters, a 58-liter increase from the previous model, and the rear seat back folds down in a 60-40 split. Furthermore, Suzuki claims the Swift is 95 kilograms lighter than its predecessor, which benefits fuel efficiency. To limit the video, I will be talking about the exact car I was driving. Like most Swifts, they are powered by the same 1.2-liter 4-cylinder petrol engine as the outgoing car. It produces a 61 kilowatt and 113 newton meters of torque. The fuel consumption is rated at 4.9 liters per 100 kilometers, and it has a fuel tank capacity of 37 liters. You have the choice of either a 5-speed manual gearbox or an automated manual gearbox. An AMT behaves much like a manual gearbox, except the operation of the clutch is controlled by the vehicle. For our road trip, we managed to get the 1.2 manual 5-speed with nothing to compare it at that point in time. It's very basic. Also, it gets you from point A to B in the most efficient way possible, and it saves a lot of fuel with that 4-cylinder, giving you enough power to zip through the city and keep up with highway traffic. The interior is as basic as it gets, with 2 cup holders just situated at the bottom next to the gear, which I am really not a fan of, as they are way down there, and if you don't know your way around the car, you would have had to bend down to collect your cup, which could be hiding your open storage area, since for some reason they don't have a storage compartment that could also double as your armrest like old cars used to have. The car's interiors is kept as basic as possible, so if you get it, you might look into getting some third-party customization features if you don't want to pay the extra bucks for some interior features. The back seats are really spacious for any average height person, and the trunk is very spacious and can fit big suitcases for you and your family, which is really good if you think about it. But we use it to store some simple laptop backpacks. Even though the interior is basic, I must say I was shocked to find out the car had rear sensors when you reverse, and for the price point, I would say that there's one of the things that has a one-up on the second car, which is the i10 that I managed to get my hands on. The main disappointment for me in this car was definitely the interior. I think Suzuki could have done more with this year's model, but they definitely changed that with later year models. The steering wheel does not have any controls, as what most cars of this generation won't have, so imagine I had to reach over to the radio just to spin the song. It might not seem like a big convenience, but trust me, once you get a call and you can't answer from your steering wheel and your phone is stuck behind the 2 cup holders in the open area storage compartment, as you can't place it anywhere else, you will see the need. Overall, the car is amazing, but before I give my final thoughts, let's go to the second car. On Tuesday early morning, when we arrived in the Eastern Cape, now we were lucky enough to be given a chance between another Suzuki, this time a Desire, and Hyundai i10. Immediately when I heard the Desire, I just knew that it's just a sedan version of the Swift, so I avoided it and went for the i10. i10, and that is one of the best decisions I've ever made. The other one was starting this YouTube channel, so please like, comment and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell, and please share the video. A quick run through on the i10 was it had the 1.1 liter petrol engine that produces 50 kilowatts and 99 newton meters of torque that is transmitted to the front wheels via a 5-speed manual gearbox. It also came with a inline-4 engine and does 0 to 60 in 15.2 seconds and had a top speed of 153 kilometers per hour. So right off the bat, compared to the Swift, the one main thing lacking here is power. The throttle response is not as quick as the Swift, so when you go shopping for the i10, I think power is something you won't consider. But when it comes to exterior design and interior design, the i10 makes up for points lost. It might be smaller than the Swift, but the exterior is quite stylish. It went from boring looking car to something that a young first-time car buyer would be proud of driving. The interior also takes a cup. I enjoyed being in the i10 with its screen that has both Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. The interior design is beautiful, and my colleague and I really appreciated it and started thinking about getting it as a first car, but not for me. Even though the i10 is better looking and packs in the space, the same complaints arise when it comes to storage compartments, but at least in this they are situated behind the gear lever and nothing can obstruct you from accessing your mobile device in the open storage, but you wouldn't need to access it as you can change songs and answer phone calls from your steering wheel, something you can't do in the Swift. With the interior looking this good, I would have assumed that it has rear sensors, but unfortunately it does not. Another thing the Swift has over the Hyundai is the space. The i10 is not as spacious, and if you choose to sit in the back seats, just know room is something you're not gonna get too much of. And in the trunk, you can only fit so much as it's not quite as big as the Swift. So at the end, it would depend on what you need for your daily needs, whether you prioritize power and space of the Swift or you prioritize the aesthetics of the i10. Another thing I almost forgot to mention is the sound system of the two cars. Oh lord, the sound system. The Swift came with a lackluster sound you can use to just listen to the radio, but the i10 came with an entire package that will have you jam into your favorite song as you customize the different settings and where you want the sound to come from and how loud you want the bass to be from each passenger seat. Now I would like to do my own mini comparisons to round up the two cars and see what one would like. Again, this is for me. I will go for 6 categories: power, space, aesthetics, fuel economy, handling and pricing. When it comes to power, I would have to give it to the Swift. With its bigger engine, I did some research and found out that the i10 also comes in other engine sizes, so one could also go for the bigger engine if they choose so. When it comes to space, I also give it to the Swift. With its bigger size, it gives more room to its passengers along with the luggage. If you want a more spacious Hyundai, you would probably check out the i20 for that. For aesthetics, the i10, nothing more, nothing less. Hyundai pulled out all the stops here. They knew what they wanted and they went for the target market. When it comes to the fuel economy, I would give it to the i10 also. The smaller engine size and the lighter weight give it a slight advantage over the Swift, even though the Swift is still a very fuel-friendly car. When it comes to handling, this is a tough one, but the i10, due to its design and smaller size, allows it to nip in and out of tight spaces. It also gives a tighter suspension where the steering wheel is more responsive compared to the Swift, which is much more heavy. When it comes to pricing, if you're looking for a used vehicle to save fuel and get you from point A to B with reliability, then these two can be a great start. The Swift I managed to find goes for 160,000 rands. That has 22,000 kilometers on the clock, which is actually very good for a starting price as your first car. When it comes to the i10, it goes for 159,999 with 6,000 kilometers on the clock, which is almost the same price as the Suzuki but with a bit more miles. If you don't mind going for a car that has more miles than the i10, then one might go for the Swift. But remember, this is all dependent on your needs. Just because a car has lesser kilometers on the clock does not mean the car does not have problems. Overall, after having compared the two at the end of the day, I would go for the Swift. Yes, I know, but why would you say that? I prefer having a bit more power, a bit more space, and knowing that chances are I would be extra customizations on it. It's better having a basic car with fewer electronics that won't have to break. Sacrifices can be made on those few extra cents are spent on fuel. Well, then there we have it, my first ever proper car review of cars I have driven. Hopefully I can give you more videos like this, and I have given you much needed information on which car you can choose as your first car. Remember, there are others out there, so don't hesitate to hit me up and find out what can you go if the Suzuki and Hyundai are not your cup of tea. So until next time, peace.